Yo, what's up, y'all? We're back with another episode of On the Table Podcast, the podcast where we put our opinions on the table.
Oh, I like what you did
Hey,
there.
all right. Okay, so I'm the host, KO. This is,
Jose Canseco.
and that's,
Will.
Rob. Oh, same.
okay, whoever goes first, go ahead.
Will and Rob.
Hey, okay, hey, all right, Will and Rob. And we're going to talk about the mental health of some of the prominent black people in the zeitgeist right now, in the society. Our first up for today is
Kanye Watch 2020.
Kanye Watch, because Kanye's been bugging.
We're done with
lately.
Jada Watch. Jada Watch has been ended last
Jada
week.
Watch has concluded, but we still have more to say about that because Will Smith posted, or he was on somebody's podcast.
And he talked about it?
Yes, he talked about it more.
August Alsina dropped a song about it.
August dropped the
You've
song.
moved
So now we're on
from
Will Watch.
Smith and Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, and the Pinkett Smith. But yeah,
Pinkett Smiths.
we just don't want to offend the Smiths and Pinkett Smith.
No.
But we're on Will Watch.
Yes.
Will Watching. We're Will Watching.
Well, my name is
We're Will
Will.
Watchers.
We're watching both Wills, Will Smith and
Is that me
Will.
too?
Yes.
All right. I'm Will too. I'm just
Yeah, we're
saying,
watching
all
Will
the
and
Wills.
All the Wills are being watched.
All right.
Will, how do you feel about Will?
Yes.
Will,
what's
Will, what's
opinion on
what's
Will?
your opinion on Will?
Mental health.
To be honest, I think Jada and Will are swingers.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been indulging in unorthodox sexual.
We would say an alternative mean of sexual exploration.
Absolutely,
Sex-
they would
sexual
definitely have
acts.
unorthodox sexual proclivities. That's for sure.
Yes.
That's for sure. But it's what they believe in. It's what they do, and
More power to them.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, if you want to share your woman, then that's fine. I'm not too into that. I don't think personally that's. I don't think that's conducive to an overall conventional relationship, but
Oh, he puts that so eloquently. I love it.
Mr. Smith, who did you vote for?
but
Whoa, who did I vote for? Whoa, that's personal.
hey, my whole thing though
That's
is just
way too
keep it
personal.
100 though.
But anyway, if you want to fuck my wife, that's
Yeah, I feel that, but you gotta keep it 100 though. Like y'all gotta be like, hey, we swingers. Like,
Yeah, I feel like them
Like-
keeping it in the closet made it worse for them.
yeah, like but she. You right. You gotta be honest. You gotta be consistent. And gotta be 100. Like y'all can't be lying about
This
it.
is what we do.
Yeah, y'all gotta be 100. That's how I feel. Just be honest about it, so we can all know, right? Just like the podcast on the table,
Yeah.
and y'all got some shit called red table, right? Put that
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
I feel like maybe they're trying to be strategic and wait to put it on there, but
When is the perfect time?
when is the perfect time?
When
It
is
just
the perfect
comes
time
out.
to talk about your polygamous relationship?
Uh-huh.
Read my new pamphlet, Polyamory and Me.
But no, I'm sorry. What was your question?
So-
Say again.
We said, when is the perfect time to just speak openly about your
talk
polygamous relationship?
I
To
think-
air your relationship out.
The area, I feel like, I don't know. That's never. First of all, when you're famous, do you have to expose your extramarital affairs and activities?
No. So I think the thing is, famous people.
The keyboard
Whoopsie.
works too, Rob. So you don't have to stretch that far. The black keyboard works.
Oh, this one as the. Thank you. My bad.
No,
I'm gonna
you
get this down. I'm an octopus back here.
No,
All right, but anyway, so I think that celebrities are just going to have to get more used to this being like their regular people, to where it's like you don't have to say anything about what kind of relationship that you have, but if you have leaks and things that give glimpses into what kind of relationship that you have, and people can tell that that's not a traditional relationship, then you're going to have some kind of congruency in your image. So people are going to go, oh yeah, why do you guys keep having like a bunch of greased up 18-year-olds coming in and out of your house?
And you guys always look nervous, but welcoming.
Yeah, exactly. Just the perfect amount of sweat.
Get in here, Rodolfo. Get in here.
But don't fall. But hey, how you doing? And as the door closes,
Oh my God, I missed you.
So I feel like what Jada said with her whole like, oh, if he's over here on this side of the house with with his person, I'm over here with my person. Once she said that, she should have known that people would have been like, oh, you have a non-traditional
We've
relationship.
already been speculating y'all swinging. Now you just kind of confirmed
So
it.
now you have all this, so you can't act like that's weird when people just go, something interesting is going on here. Now it's not that much of our business, but I feel like if you want to be congruent to where people aren't asking like it's a mystery, then you just got to be mindful
Right
of that.
in the beginning.
But at the same time, it's not your obligation. So if you want to stay incongruent and just let people talk and just go, oh, what are they doing? Then you can do that. That's your right as well.
I think that would be me. I would just be confusing the hell out of people and just like I would just keep posting pictures of different females and have them be like, yo, which one is he dating? Like, what's going down? Which girlfriend is yours? Y'all are crazy, man. Y'all are crazy. Yeah, crazy.
I feel like the fact that you're famous, people are already gonna speculate.
Let
about
them
who you're
speculate.
with.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna let them speculate. They got pictures of me hugged up.
No
with
matter
one
who
girl.
you.
But that's how
hug or
Floyd
touch.
do it.
Yeah, just let them hug up. They gonna be like, who you with?
But that's how Floyd do it.
Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy.
That's how Floyd. That's
Floyd Mayweather?
Floyd Money Mayweather. Yeah, that's how he do it.
He just, I don't care. I'm just gonna take
He
pictures
don't
and y'all gonna
care.
speculate who y'all speculate.
Absolutely, and really, to keep it 100, what the hell is going on or is not going on in your life to the point where you really care about what this person is doing?
So much. Yeah. So I'm like, all right.
Like, yeah, you can talk about it, have a conversation about it.
But you see that some people get irked.
Yeah, emotional, and you can't do that. And how you gonna tell this person?
How's he
No,
gonna
it's
date
fine.
two
That's
girls
the
at
contract
once?
that they're
Absolutely.
going with.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Me and you, KO.
Can we swing to something real quick about because he just. I mean, well, this whole conversation thus far has been about monogamous and
polygamy.
and polygamy
Yep.
and so forth. Okay.
And orgies and swinging parties.
All right. There's 4 brothers here.
Mm-hmm.
And by brothers I mean so-called black men.
Mm-hmm.
How many of us here? Let me reword that question.
Mm-hmm. Here he comes. Here he comes. Here
Here
he comes. Oh.
How many of us here feel that there is an issue with having more than one woman in order, though? In order, not. Oh, this my side chick or this and that. In order, as in the house, helping out with the kids, cooking, or even having a side job as well. How many of us feel like that's an issue?
I do
Issue?
not.
No.
I think
Okay,
I have
one.
no problem with non.
How about over there? One says no. How about over there?
It depends on what your relationship is
past
that.
I just put down the parameters.
spot.
Now, remind you,
The parameters.
If she's
KO
there,
is married,
if
so
she's
he's
there,
already
if
chosen.
she's there, and
I
she's
understand. That's why I had to
if she's-
reword the question, and that's
Yeah.
the best I could reword the question.
If she's there and
And-
she's helping and she's like
and
a
that is
helpmate to your wife,
Absolutely.
then that makes
Helping
That does
taking-
not mean
helping
that
taking
Nick's
care
wife wants
of the-
help, so don't send in no letters.
Help-
Don't send
no,
in
absolutely
She
not.
don't want-
Absolutely
I'm gonna
not.
let y'all know right
This
now.
is totally-
She don't want no help from y'all.
Hey, this is
She got it. Trust it.
this is totally a hypothetical question.
She got it.
Well,
no, I mean, cause like
It's
you
not
know,
hypothetical.
my mother-in-law
He's just
lives
out
with
of
us, and my mother-in-law lives with us, and she kind of
so
helps. She helps along.
So
She
she's
helps
almost
out
like
in the house.
she's almost like absolutely. So she's almost like
A helper.
a helpmeet slash midwife almost, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
Right.
yes.
Okay.
So you're talking about sister wives. Is what you're talking
But
about.
So
without
we
that
all-
term,
but-
I
but-
feel like
but-
that
but-
was
It's not
purpose.
literally
So
sister
we-
wives.
yeah,
But
it's,
we all
that
agree.
concept.
We all agree that there's nothing wrong with that, right? We would all welcome that as long as it's in order.
I would go a step further and say, even if it's not practical, if you
No,
and
but-
all 3
but
people
what I'm
are
see-
consenting,
Absolutely,
then
yes.
it's fine.
That is what I'm getting to. That's what I'm getting to. A lot of people and a lot of our women, sisters, so-called black women, this is why I have an issue with them, because they are so caught up in that it's monogamous, right? Mono, right? Meaning one, right? Right. So one, right? And as so-called black men, they don't understand, or they weren't taught that it's in our nature to have more than one woman. That is why there's so many of brothers that have 5 different baby mamas, right? Wouldn't it be ethical and logical to just have all the 5 women in one house, taking care of all the kids?
All right, so I'm gonna put it like
Okay,
this.
so
I feel like
I'll let y'all go first, and then
instead
who's gonna go first?
instead of paying
Yeah,
child support to this woman, and this woman bleeding you out for this one, and this is doing
who's gonna
Who's
respond?
gonna
Spot.
attack?
Who's
Spot
gonna
gonna-
attack?
Whose hot take is coming first?
Spot.
Go ahead, please.
Spot, I'll
I'm
let
ready.
You, Spot, I'll let
Please,
you go
I'm
first.
ready.
Spot,
Please,
I'll
I'm
let you
ready.
go.
I'm ready. Please.
So-
Let's do it.
Spot has a conch.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
I know my take on it is a little bit different than most men.
I'm listening, brother.
Because for me, I'm all for the polyamorous relationship. I'm all for like
Polygamy.
Open relationship. Now, when I say it, mine is a little bit different because I'm not just on, because what I always go towards is like, okay, I believe that, the man can go out and have multiple women.
Absolutely.
If he can provide for them, not just like, hey, I'm going to go out and
absolutely
smack with a whole bunch
absolutely.
of yeah. But
that's a different perspective on what I was talking about.
But let's flip it. If the shorty was on some like, I really don't need you to do this. I got my own money. I got this, that, and the other. I just need different men to do different things.
You're going into a deeper.
Let's talk about it. So if this man can build me a house, this man can fix my car. I got different men for different things. They live together. They all are cohesive. Would you be okay with that being a part of that circle of men? Or would that just be something you're like, nah, I can't do that?
I feel like the dynamic of that would be off because when you look at nature and you look,
I feel you.
when you look at a pride of lions, when you look at a pride of lions, you see one king lion. You don't see a flock of king lions.
I know. I
You
feel
see
it.
one lion.
I feel it.
And there's a reason why men are like that around each other because if you let other men raise your kid and you're not around, you don't know what's going on, And I feel like that kind of translates down through even other animals.
Can I add in one thing on your lion analogy? Do you know that when a lion takes over a new pride,
Kill the cub.
he kills the cubs?
Kills the cub. That's why I was.
Thank you, sir.
I used to
And
watch.
that's my point right
I
there.
used to watch
That's my
Lion
point.
King, and like every
And-
time he
and-
tried to kill Simba, I'm like, he doing what he's supposed to do.
why-
That's what he does.
And why is that?
But that's because
Because it's like
they don't believe
it's like
in adoption.
Genghis Khan when you take over another tribe or something, you really can't assimilate them into your tribe because
we cannot
they
use
have
the
different
men.
ideas.
We cannot
The
use the
men
men.
are set in their ways. The
So-
men will try to kill you
Absolutely.
in your sleep.
And that's-
So you kind of have to
And
kill
now
them.
that you brought up the point of ideas, that goes back to my point of ideologies, which is whose ideology is it to polygamy? I mean, not
Be a
polygamy.
monogamous relationship.
Whose ideology is that?
That's a strictly money making tool. Because now I got it.
no,
Oh,
no,
but
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. But I'm-
Give me
Wait,
a sec, 'cause
I think one of our cameras
Yeah, I
went
think the camera just went out.
Oh no. Right when we get
let's get
It's
that power
it's
cord away
our
from your
camera.
foot.
Yeah, my bad. Because y'all had a hot take right there.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to keep it.
We still got the audio. It's just the camera trying to turn it
Oh,
on.
so it's not the plug then.
Okay.
No, it's the plug, but it's the plug. Did it die?
Well, you have a plug.
It's just the video feed cut out.
Oh.
I think you can see it in the OBS screen.
If you have audio, then that means
No, it's
See how
going. We just don't have video.
It's power. See, y'all come through,
Oh,
but then
okay.
we're
Okay.
black. That's all it is right now.
to the wall and see, make sure it's connected
to the wall.
Yeah, is it in there?
And the feed's still coming through like it's on.
Is the power strip in the wall?
Yep, there we go.
That's the one. Okay, so it did. Let's run this. Or actually, I see it went underneath that wheel, so that's what's.
I need to roll up some weed.
We're going to smoke, and then we're gonna come back and have another
Hot take.
hot
Yeah,
take.
we could do that. We just have to remember where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
I remember. I'm at where I've been trying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at what I've been talking about for a very long
Really?
time.
I feel it. I was like, I feel like this has been on his mind for a minute.
I know where I'm at. I'm not gonna forget.
The funny part is, I'm like watching you guys give your answer, and I'm like waiting to give my answer, but then I see them doing the same thing. I'm like, we're like a group of hawks, right?
Yeah.
Like, yo, like,
Just looking at the beat, like
literally, you've been waiting to talk. You've been waiting to talk about about this for a minute. We've been waiting for somebody to ask this question for a cool ass
We
minute.
look like a pack of shirt. You want me to let you out, bro?
Yeah. I really do have an issue with this shit.
Bro.
I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I do. I have an issue with this. Now, what I will say.
Sharks, bro.
We was over there like, oh yes.
Now, see that? Right
I'm gonna wait till you get
I
back.
just plugged something out.
Oh, yeah, okay. I got you. I'll look for it. Thank you.
Yes. We're gonna pause. We're gonna take a short break right here,
Yeah, I
ladies
got
and
you. I
gentlemen,
think
and
we
we'll
already
be
paused.
right back. Okay.
All right.
But
So,
yeah,
now the spot's over here doing this ice ASMR.
you'll notice that there's ice now. There's gonna be a little chop.
We got it, ice.
All right, so let's get back into this with what
Bring us
Will
back
was
in.
talking about.
Okay.
With the so you were saying
The brother Rich, he had brought up
The lions.
Lions and
the lions,
the pride.
and no, but one thing he said,
Right.
the ideal, which brought me to the ideology, and I had asked the question, where did monogamy come from? Who instituted that? Who put that in place?
See,
I think that
Go ahead.
so okay,
I
so
know the
that
answer.
that
I know
kind
the
of was the
answer.
question. But personally, I think that monogamy springs up like most other things in kind of like human society from the utilities that it has.
But with all
So-
due respect, sir, that's not the question.
Okay, so what's your question?
Who instated that? Who pushed that? Who made that a law? Because it is a law here. Because
To
that,
be-
the so-called black man, that is not our original state of being. Is monogamy? That's not our original state of being. So,
Well, I think
so
you're-
that had to be implemented by someone or a group of people. And my question is, who are those group of people? Where did it come from?
Yeah, answer. You
I
answer.
feel like it has
Right,
to be
so-
like
so-
the
so
the
just to be
European
clear,
people
I feel
who
like
came
the-
over here.
in the way that you're asking the question, you're loading the question with a lot of premises that kind of like it would be a little bit helpful if you explain kind of like when you
Where did it
say
come from?
when you say where does it come from, but then someone starts giving an answer and then you say, well, no, I mean who did it, then you're saying,
Okay,
I know
I
that the
can
thing
understand
comes
that.
from a who.
Okay, I
Who is
understand
this person? You see
Okay,
what? So that's
okay,
all.
Okay, so let me. You're absolutely right. So, and that is my issue, is
You're welcome.
because there's a lot of sisters, right, who say they for the black man, so-called black man, and they for the brothers and this or that. So why do you continue to listen to this so-called Europe? And I don't like using European because there were so-called blacks in rulership that are so-called European, and my family actually has to come from Europeans who are actually in rulership. So I don't like to say Europeans because that you think this is whites, but that's not the case. But anyway, so I say cave people because that is literally what Caucasians mean. The definition of Caucasians means caveman, and that's a fact. So that's why I say cave people. But anyways, monogamy is a generally cave person's that's their way of life, and if you want to say white person, that's fine, but you have to know that that terminology wasn't written into law until 1681 in Virginia. That's the first time.
So when you
that-
say
that-
written in the law, what do you mean by written in the
Monogamy.
law? As in,
in 1681 in
Being
Virginia,
observed
that
by the
is the-
government, like
absolutely. That is the
marriage.
first time. That is the first time in American history that the terminology "white person" was used. 1681 in Virginia. That's so, yeah, in 1681.
okay, white person, but not monogamous.
So wait,
marriage.
yeah, let's
No,
stick
no,
with
no,
the.
no, no.
is it-
I
is
just,
it-
I
is
just,
it
I
white
just went,
identity? Yeah, you get that.
I just went that way because people would say, "Oh, why'd you just call him white?" Because white is a corporate designation. I think cave person is more accurate because that is where they come from.
Right. So I'm asking
Like
you
the
about.
African
I'm
men-
asking
yeah,
you
we're gonna
about
get to stick to the
yeah,
monogamy
So
thing.
I'm asking you about
but
the
absolutely.
monogamy.
So
and
what
the
I'm saying,
state.
so what
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying, what I'm saying is that monogamy is a so-called white person's ideologies. So as sisters, and you say you care about us and you want what's best for us and you want us to be a leader. such and such. So why are you holding on so hard to the ideology of the so-called white man?
I'll give a justification for the white man's ideology in a little bit, but I'll let Stop Policy K address this a little bit first.
Let me go to bat for the white man real quick. Hold on. Let me go.
Do we have a house Negro?
let me be the first one to come to bat for the white man.
We just might.
But no. Go ahead. No. I want to say this just because I always love talking about polyamory, especially when it comes to our ancestors, because for me, one of the things I like to do just to stir the pot a bit, because my idea of polyamory is different from most of the men I meet. Most of the men, when I explain to them polyamory and polyamorous relationships, they thinking, oh, I can have a bunch of girlfriends.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's lust. It's lust.
It's straight out of lust. It's like I can have a bunch of girlfriends.
And that's not what it's about.
Exactly.
It's not what it's about.
And then I present them with the same thing I did. Like, how would you feel if your girlfriend went out there and got a bunch of boyfriends? Can you handle that too?
Yeah.
Because one thing that does, because I always want to present it to brothers, like polyamorous relationship and open relationships is not just about how many women you can go out and have sex with.
Open relationships and polyamorous relationships are two different things.
But it's not about like how many girls you can go out to have sex with, how many girlfriends you can have.
Absolutely.
Nothing about that.
That's lust.
Exactly. Because back in the day, our ancestors were in not polyamorous relationships, but open, where we got the terms of.
They was polygamy.
There's polygamy. So where we got the term of like, hey, you my bro, even though we're not blood related. Where we got the way of calling everybody pops and moms, where we got that kind of tradition of just calling people mom, even though they're not our mothers, it's from our ancestors, because back then there was no marriage. Like you said, that marriage concept was something introduced later.
I feel like there's probably
Absolutely.
marriage,
There was-
but I feel like the family was a
No, the
bigger group.
there was
the
partnership.
The family
This
used to
brother
be
is right.
15 people,
There's-
and now it's 3 people.
But there was partnership.
The
There was-
reason
yeah.
why
there
marriage,
was no marriage.
the reason why marriage was a convention was to
slow down the birth and all that, because there was no marriage. It was just
a lot of people are gonna have issue
I
with
feel
this,
like
but this is the
marriage-
truth. The only reason why marriage was a convention was to take over the ownership for the daughter from the father
Mhm.
to the next man.
Exactly.
That's
So
the
I
only
would-
reason why
so-
marriage and because
Mhm.
of when say and this is ancient times, right?
Mhm.
Keep your thought in your
I
head,
got
right?
you.
Because I'm just digressing
I
real
got you.
quick. Say in ancient times, right? So say the woman that you want, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you would have to buy that woman,
Mhm.
right? And sometimes the man that you want to buy her father, right, was a
Mhm.
wealthy man, and he would not let you buy the woman unless you prove that you have.
I got
that
16
you had-
goats.
Absolutely.
I got 4 camels.
Absolutely.
I got 8 cows.
So
It's a
when-
contract between
so
families.
that's where it came
and
in.
What does
It's a
that,
contract
and when
between
you
families.
marry those two people together, those two strong family
She now-
backgrounds together,
mhm.
what do you get?
Strong children. So,
And
yeah.
what do you get? Generation.
Generational,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Absolutely.
So what we used to
It's not
get-
just about lust. though.
Exactly.
It's not
So
about that.
that's what it became. Before it was, we're not married. They would be partnerships. You were absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like there'd be partnerships. I feel connected to you. I feel like a bond with you. But
and it'd be a contract between the families. Like,
but not
Yeah,
even
you
that.
couldn't just lay down with
Yeah.
no woman.
No.
You
But
couldn't
before-
just do that.
Yeah, but before that, if we go down to South Africa with our early ancestors,
Oh.
they would be just a tribe
I
of
disagree,
men and
but
women.
okay.
No. I'm talking about like not like ancient times where we're going biblical. I'm talking about like
okay.
pygmies. I'm talking about like we
If
go
you,
back.
Yeah, if you want to go there, that's
The
fine.
real
That's
one.
fine.
So it'd be like the tribe, right? Everybody in the tribe together. Him and her are not technically married, but they have kids together. He also has a kid with her. She also has a kid with him. He also has a kid with
right
her.
There, I gotta.
So that's what I'm saying.
I gotta
No,
strongly agree.
No,
because,
this is why I want to bring it up.
Because one,
Mhm.
the type of people that you're saying that went on with are Hamitic people.
Mhm.
Yes, you're right. The Hamitic people, they do have practices of that,
Mhm.
but those are not our ancestors. That might be your ancestors.
But that's what I'm saying.
Not my ancestors.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's
We
what
got
I'm saying.
some that are
those
like,
are Hamitic. Those are Hamitic.
but it's like, yo,
practices.
I gotta. So that's why I always bring it up because
the woman never in ancient time the woman was never able to have more than one sexual partner.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's a disgrace.
That's what, but this is why I bring it back. This is where I bring it back because now we're in a completely different time. We're in a new day and
Absolutely.
age with the Me
These
Too
bitches
movement.
ain't virgins. Oh, these chicks aren't virgins.
But with the Me Too movement, with the whole women kind of being more empowered right now with this whole movement and everything, you see now in our culture a lot of women acting like niggas back in '09, like the hot girl season, like, oh, I want to have a bunch of, niggas on my line.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, we're transferring into a whole new time of dating, marriage, relationships, just female and male gender roles and interactions in general. So
what's the point you're making?
So that's what I'm saying. So
That's what I'm trying to get
so if we are going to go back to now thinking about, okay, how are we going to go back to the traditional way of thinking? It does have to be altered because we're now different. We're dealing with new men and women.
But
So it has to be like.
But I disagree because I feel like
Mhm.
I have to say it again. I think it's meme theory, and I feel like some ideas have a certain lifespan,
Mhm.
and even though the
yeah.
though the idea dies,
Mhm.
the actual application of the idea or like it working that may die off later. So it's like even though we're seeing less people get married and stuff, and people are going in like a different route.
Mhm.
I feel like you might see the actual effects of that later on, and then it's like, okay,
With
maybe
the lower
that was,
population.
yes, or like
With
more
all due respect, you see it now.
You
different
do.
ratios.
You
of
see it in the
more mental
Japanese culture
health
right now.
stuff going on with people, and
All
it's like
different cultures.
Yeah, the Japanese culture right now is dealing with a super decline of their population for the fact that a lot of people are thinking I'd rather focus on my career than making a family
that's
right
what
now.
I'm saying. And
And
society can have
Why
an effect
is
on
that though? Why is that? That's
I think it's our economic.
Okay,
the
well, I
economic
do want Rob's take on this because he has been trying to get in here for a second, so I
Go
do
ahead,
want to
Rob.
get his opinion on
brother.
it.
That's an,
Also, YouTube, I am not rolling up weed on the side of this table right now. I just want to let y'all know that's not happening.
No, he just cleaned the mess.
I'm just cleaning. There's something
It's
over
just a
here.
mess that he's
Cleaning
cleaning up.
I'm just cleaning just some stuff up over here.
Hey, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I want to know what Rob's hot take on this is.
yeah.
Okay, so here's I like to typically I like to introduce an entirely different way of conceptualizing about the world and these different problems, because I find a lot of times when people say like, oh, it makes no sense for this person to do something, I find that oftentimes we have to remind ourselves that people look at the world dramatically differently and have dramatically different behavioral outcomes when you conceptualize about the world from a completely different space. So I'm going to bring in the importance of that by thinking about how I conceptualize about the world. You have big scales, you have small scales. You have incredibly tiny things, you have incredibly large things. We as people, as living organisms, are weird because we exist in multiple ranges of scales. There's aspects, if I was to say you're just a guy in a room, that would be a big reduction about who you are as a person. Because, for example, there's your experiences and all the memories you've had, but then there's also incredibly small things like the literal gut bacteria that's inside of your stomach right now. So on different layers and different scales, there's different aspects about you,
So what
and
layer
all
are
of them,
what layer
and all of them
aspect
are
are you
so
talking
that's what I'm going to get into. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm going to get. The importance of when you speak, how do you shift your language to a different scale and to the proper scale to align for the question that's being brought up or the problem that's being considered. I feel like a lot of times with these relationship things, there is a scale of behavior and there is a scale of consequential outcomes that people talk about. So a lot of times they'll see a certain behavioral outcome for a certain kind of relationship, and then they'll go, the reason why this person did this is because of this behavioral outcome, which is very good on the evolutionary scale. So when you're looking at a larger swath of time, I feel like that's a more accurate lens to look at. But I feel like when you're looking at a smaller lens of time of why did this person make this personal choice, that scale tends to be more influenced by their own psychology, their own first-person view kind of things of like, this is the person who I love. Like, yeah, maybe there's some kind of like evolutionary advantage to it or societal advantage to it, but it could sometimes with individuals be just as simple as I like that thing as it is simple for you to say I like blue versus purple. Like, it's literally just a preferential thing for them. But once we start taking a step back and then we say, no, not just why does this individual person do a behavior? Why does this group of people do a behavior? then we can start like slightly changing that up. And I kind of feel like with now to bring that into the whole like polyamory and everything, I feel like what happens a lot of times is we see people like Will Smith and like their whole questionable relationship and stuff like that, and we see him hurting at a moment in his relationship, and we go, here's him hurting, but here's him also saying that he's happy while he's clearly showing his hurt. Something is incongruent there. The reason why this must be incongruent is because of my negative prescription of he's in denial instead of a more benign prescription, like maybe this is the aspect of himself that he wanted to transcend.
Maybe he's just okay with being unhappy
maybe
for
this
a
is
second.
exactly this is the part that he's okay with not doing.
That's
And
fine,
it's-
but if you're
and
sitting
it's
there
hard for you-
looking like that, like with teary-eyed,
No, I get what
I
Rob's
agree.
saying.
Alright,
It's like
I agree,
maybe
but-
Will is much more.
but there's a different unhappiness when you're working on a problem and it's
Right.
hard, but you know that there's a light
Exactly.
side. There's,
That's
you're
fair
gonna
enough.
fix
That's
it
fair
eventually.
So
but if
I'm
you're
not-
in constant depression and you just are trying to live through it, and you're like,
Right.
you know
so,
what?
So,
I'll be
so,
all right eventually.
So what you're talking about are other things to be considered. And I guess all I'm saying is that when I see people look at other people in relationship kind of things, and then they start trying to like logic about it on a large person scale, and like in a scale that you would really think about more groups of people, I think we have to remind ourselves just how complicated people are,
Yeah.
and remember that there's a bunch of situations like you were bringing up that it can be that versus just like a more sweeping generality about the person. And so because of that, I
like there's
personally think
statistics
that,
and there's patterns that you gotta pay
exactly.
attention to. It's like-
But even more specific, you have to pay attention to how different explanations fit to different scales and to different groups. Certain things are for explaining certain kind of things, and other things are for explaining other kind. And not everybody is good at that. And actually, shout out to Michael Brooks, who just passed, because I
Shout
really
out.
thought
Rest in
he
peace,
was
Michael Brooks.
incredibly good at figuring out at which scale should we be talking about so that you can avoid honestly just bigoted beliefs, because I think it's very easy to find
I
yourself
was
in
talking
having
to one of
bigoted
my
beliefs.
coworkers
That's
the
just
other
me.
day, and I was telling them because we were talking about one of our other coworkers that just don't feel accepted, and I was like, honestly, we're at work, and when you're at work, a lot of the time we're going to be dealing with a lot of like, I'm coming from my idea and my world and my own box into a box to where now I'm with like 6-7 people that think differently and had a different night than me and have different relationships than I do. So I'll come in there and speak from a certain type of relationship, from a polyamorous relationship, open type, you know, it's where I feel open to talk about whatever girl I'm talking to at that time.
Right.
While somebody may be listening to me like, oh my God, you're a man whore because you talk to a bunch of girls and you're just.
Have
you're
you ever
really-
noticed it like offend someone? Like it
Yeah.
almost make them like
No,
like
I've
a
definitely felt
physically
like I'm
uncomfortable.
offending somebody
People
with just
in
being
groups
myself, yeah.
to an extent civilize each other. Like there's certain ideas that if you express around people, they're gonna frown at you or they're gonna give you some type of body language cue to let you.
I would call it socializing.
That idea is socialized. That idea is unhealthy. Like if you like, oh yeah, I like to eat uncooked chicken or something, they're gonna be like, what? Wait, what?
Yep.
You know,
Even after
if
you get,
they don't
even
tell
after you give
that they don't agree, they're gonna show you that they don't agree.
Even after you explain your reasoning why and all that. So I've just told my coworker, I'm like, we got to get to the point where we are willing to, even when we disagree, not listen to figure out where we disagree. Like I'm listening to you just to figure out where we're different, but listen to each other, figure out why we're different. This is slightly different just because it's like, why do you think that way? Not necessarily saying you're wrong, even though I disagree with you and I might think you're wrong, but I just really want to figure out why you think that way. Like we had a dude come to our shop, he was a Trump supporter, and instantly everybody didn't want to serve him. They're like, oh, this dude's a Trump supporter, da da da.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey, look, bro. I came to him, me and him talked, and I gave him my opinion on voting, period, not just voting for Trump. And he was like, you know what? If somebody else would have tried to explain what you just tried to explain to me, I would have said they were stupid. He's like, but just for the fact that you were willing, I know you don't support Trump, the fact that you were willing to have that conversation with me and then willing to tell me how you feel about politics and voting and everything, da da da. He's like, you have put it to me in a way that makes sense.
Right.
So now that when I meet other people like you, I'm not gonna be so quick to think that they're stupid because they think like you.
That's how ideas evolve.
Exactly. It just you need to
You
understand.
have to let them fight it out in the arena of thought.
And
If you ban one idea,
Yeah,
you
you
just make
can't.
it stronger.
you can't just tell people they're stupid for feeling a certain way. Only time I like to kind of like almost, I don't want to say chastise, but like almost kind of correct somebody is when I feel like their actions are detrimental physically. I'm like, no, that's gonna, like, if somebody comes and smokes a cigarette around me.
if you love them and you don't want them to get hurt, there's
Yeah, exactly.
But
So-
at the same time, people are their own
Exactly.
their own
So I
thing.
can-
and
I
you
can't
That's where I
ask
feel like
somebody
the
from
limit
doing
is. In I feel like that's where kind of the hard limit of that is. It's
Yeah.
like when we're not doing civil politics, we're doing martial politics. And as soon as you close down civil politics, it moves into the martial.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's always the hard limit of that. It's like you want to like not chastise people for stuff like that, but it's like after a certain while, it's like if you're talking about like life or death situation, then you may have to operate a little.
That's what I'm saying. I like to put
in
it
normal society,
Yeah.
in regular everyday life.
But even in life and death, it's like you still allow people to
People are
make
still
their
gonna make their own choices.
Like you get to buy a motorcycle, or you get to
You can smoke that
or,
cigarette. I smoke,
yeah.
smoke
Well,
copious
no,
You get
amounts
to
of
drive that
marijuana.
fast car.
But
You
not,
get
but not
to,
necessarily, but not necessarily by definition. Because if you are buying a motorcycle for you, then it is not life or death for me. If you are
It might
buying,
be though.
if you-
It might be
no,
if
no,
you crash.
hold
If
on.
I crash and hit your car and kill you.
But no, not even that.
Right,
I'll put it like
but then
this.
that's more clear. But let's say, for example, if you're buying a bomb that's so big it's going to blow up your house and mine right next to you, that's life and death for me now. You see, the
Yeah.
consequence is more more clear.
So where I put life and death, like as far as like other people, is more like in the motorcycle definition. Like if somebody's buying a motorcycle, and they're not the most coordinated of person,
I feel like we've wandered away from polygamy.
we
but
did wander away, and I feel like we need to start wandering towards Kanye.
Yes.
But
What about that break?
yeah, so it's just kind of like.
And we need a smoke break real quick.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut and then come back and be
So
high.
yeah, I definitely feel like when it comes to life or death, it's more like we're gonna cut and come back.
I would go from like straight face to just cheese.
Anyways, I think that Kanye was funny as fuck talking about Harriet. No, first we're gonna dive
Kanye's
into that.
going through some real mental. Are we getting into Kanye right now?
Let's
or-
get into Kanye right now, and then we'll smoke and come back.
Okay.
Yeah,
We might as well.
All right.
I think you should wrap it up.
I think he should wrap it up. So, Kanye, eccentric or crazy?
I think.
Okay,
Both.
better yet. This is a better question. Better question. Does Kanye need to be admitted, or does he need to work this out at home with it, like in his own musical? Is it something that he needs?
Kanye should be admitted. Kanye should be, and when I say admitted, I do not mean against his will, but Kanye should seek in therapy, in my opinion, versus out therapy, because the kind of problems that he has, especially with his whole, he was on that drug that was like fairly close to heroin, like. I feel like like if you go to a really expensive in program where it's super, because he can afford the best therapies and the best procedures. So we're not talking about like some low quality shit. If he can afford the best in care, he should go get that shit. It will help him so much. And there's different kind of therapies. Maybe you can find a therapy that's like linked up with some Christian organization or something like that.
Maybe some musical therapy.
or something like
Some
that. But
therapy
yeah,
that
but
just
he
needs
needs.
to
But I
talk
think
to
he should do
somebody.
some in
So-
therapy. Yes.
So we do. So okay, we're gonna go around. So you think he needs to be admitted?
Yes.
Will, does he need to be admitted, or does he need to kind of just take a break from fame and like do some in-home, maybe smoke a blunt? How serious do you think this breakdown is?
Don't need no therapy. Just get that boy a pack of backwoods. He'll be all right.
What we think it will? Because we know he don't give a fuck about Kanye.
I don't.
And it is okay to completely disagree
It's
with
cool,
everything I
it's
just
cool.
said. I don't care if you
It's-
think.
First of all, we don't give a fuck if we piss off
Alright.
the West or the Kanye,
Alright,
the
cool.
Kardashian.
Alright,
Alright,
Kardashian
alright,
West.
alright, cool.
West
Alright,
Kim
cool.
Kardashian West.
Will, yeah, we don't put them on this Pinkett Smith level.
Kanye is MK acid. He's a part of that witch coven called the Kardashians, and he's under major mind control. So he's pretty much
Do you think he's like breaking from it right now? Is that what's going on? Or?
no.
How would you
I
explain
think
it?
Having his
no.
get out
I
moment?
truly believe
This
from-
is the thick of it.
I have very, very little doubt that Kim is his handler, and whatever she says goes. So this whole charade that he's doing right now, if you notice, every 4 years he does like this little weird thing.
It seemed like 2.
I've
Honestly.
heard it blamed on the trauma from his mom dying and the car accident.
But those, I don't want to put a time limit on it,
I'm
but
not
I feel
gonna-
like there's been other things that's happened to him
I don't
since then that would either be more traumatic or at least equally as blessing. Like you get kids. Like
I just want to state the
don't wanna
basic
go
fact
too
that
far into that.
sometimes people with mental health issues do have periodic mental breakdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
this
what do you-
is
mental
not
health.
just a regular person. This is Kanye West.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This
I mean,
is a
come
very
on.
high level breakdown. So what you think,
Um,
Kale? You think he needs to do? So what you think? Wait, Will, do you think he needs to be admitted, or you think he needs to just be taken away from Kim and do something like go to Chicago and like?
I think Kanye is doing what he was programmed to do. So he's being an agent of chaos, and you know he's doing what he was.
So you feel like
programmed to do.
you feel like the almost like the breakdown is a show of someone who said like go out there and break down in front of all these people.
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. What he's doing right now is a series of events to.
I think he's trying to give Trump votes.
I don't think he's trying to give Trump
He's
votes.
trying to do his own campaign.
But no, that's what I'm
I
saying.
just
He's
think-
trying to take votes away from Joe
I think
Biden to
he's
give to Trump.
using
Well, what he's doing-
the presidential race to promote his music.
Mhm.
But that's my
Does he have
theory.
something new coming
He has
out?
some new
Yes,
music coming
he has
out.
a new
Oh,
album
okay.
coming out.
He does have new music
That's
coming out.
perfect. Then that's fine. I can go with that. I can go with
That's
that.
my theory.
But
I
do
can
you
go
think you
him in
really
August.
think this is really just about the music, or do you think?
I think it's
no,
about the music. I
No,
think it's
it's
I
just
think-
another distraction
Yes.
for the sheeple.
I think it is that as well. I think it's that by proxy though. Like I think he's in his mind he's using like August Alsina using the entanglement to promote his
Absolutely.
music. He's using the
The
presidential race to promote his music.
Absolutely.
Because all publicity is good
Good
publicity. So he's just trying to
Absolutely.
keep his name in everybody's mouth.
It's just
And
Now, I agree
it's a
with it.
PR
it's
thing.
a
man.
PR thing.
So-
I
My
agree with
thing
everything
is-
KO just said, but I think sprinkled on top of that is his mental health.
That's what I'm
issue.
saying.
Yes,
I
I
do
do
say that.
think he
has
has
going
mental
on.
health issues as well.
I want to say pray for Kanye. I think he needs to be separated completely from the Kardashian slash Kardashian.
Yeah, which
Jenner.
Coven?
I think he needs. He needs to be separated from them absolutely, like completely. Even if it is just on some. You need to find yourself without Kim. Like you need to know your identity instead of being
I feel
North's
like his
father.
fate was sealed.
Personally,
when
I
he
think
had
he's
a
too
child
far
with
gone
her.
already.
Yes.
You think it's too late?
It's gone.
Absolutely.
Yes.
She already usurped his energy.
So you
and
think-
they got him in a bottle now?
You think he divorces Kim still too late? Like he just still. Oh, after he had the kid, it's too late.
The kids are
No.
there, man. You gotta.
The kid's still in the deal. That's
He's
the spell.
already in
that
the-
song by the Police, "Message in the Bottle."
Yeah, he's the message.
Absolutely.
Yo,
I personally predict all this footage will be fuel
Don't
for
stand.
Kanye
Oh, I
in
can't
his
wait.
next
Don't
album.
stand.
literally, I think he's gonna sample all this shit.
You have now reached South Park level, South
You've
Park
been-
writer level.
you got
This
sampled.
is the fish stick.
You're gonna be
You just
sampled.
got
You're gonna be
sampled, bro. You are the fuel for
You
the
are gonna be
next
sampled on the new Kanye album.
2022 summer, bro. 2022 summer, bro. I guarantee you, he got a hot track for you, bro.
So he got something
I
special for
guarantee
you.
it, bro.
He got something special for that ass, bro.
Hey, I can rap too, so it's all right.
He got something special for you.
It's all
He
good,
gonna have
bro.
your face on.
He'll
the-
blow you up.
on
You'll,
the album.
It's all good,
you'll
bro.
win off of him attacking you, though.
It's all
so.
good, bro, because I got bars.
Yo, I'm just saying, for real.
Once he get out of that improv
I'm from
realm,
Jungle, California.
There we go.
If you don't know where that's at, you
There
better
we
ask
go.
somebody.
There we go. Hello, as my man
Alright.
Snoop Dogg would say. But absolutely. Okay. On the serious note.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so he's better than you.
Absolutely. You get some more bitches have a hose of you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, but on a serious note, as a black man, please pray for Kanye. But as a human being, pray for Kanye.
Mental issues.
But it's just watching him go off on social. First of all, the press. Was it really a rally? Can we really call that a rally? I guess.
There was no mic. Where was the mic?
He had I don't think he registered with the
Bro,
with
the
the FEC.
midterms are over.
The midterms are over.
They're over. It's done. You
can't
cannot
vote
run
for-
anymore.
You can't vote for him in
It's a wrap.
Illinois. If you're in Chicago, he
Then that
can't get
proves my point.
Chicago
My
It's a
theory is
wrap.
true.
This is
that
It's a
wrap,
wrap.
bro. This is all
There's-
publicity.
So
all
that's why I
publicity.
just told you.
He said no.
He's programmed. There's something going on, and this is just something to distract the sheeple. It's done. It's a wrap. What you mean?
Yeah.
I
You ain't been
think-
following it?
I feel like
I have not.
It's
that
a wrap.
wasn't-
It's done.
I've been taking
I feel-
glances at it, but I haven't really.
I
Been.
feel like Kanye
The
that rally.
Once I saw his behavior, I'm like, this
Yeah.
is
the rally
distraction.
was
Seems
was
like-
troubling.
Okay, what party is he running for?
I
He said he had his own party.
said he
or
had his own
something.
party,
He's
but I'm
making his
not-
own party.
Adios.
It's a birthday party
Goodbye.
or something.
Thank you.
said the birthday party.
Goodbye.
I swear, that's what he said.
So to be
I
clear,
appreciate you, sir.
so to be clear, let's be very clear about this. There's the political party that you choose to run in, and then there's the politics that you have and where you
Absolutely.
lean.
It's two-
So Kanye has always been kind of a mixed bag to people about the politics. that he
Kanye is a
presents.
conservative.
Yeah, I think he and
No,
and
he
as
is a conservative.
He definitely is a conservative in his early.
And they
career,
already
he
have
said
it. They already
different
have a nominee. His
Right.
name is Donald
Donald
Trump.
Exactly.
So
And
what the fuck are you
so
doing?
in his early
Excuse me, what are you
career-
doing?
he had different things that were kind of like he said George Bush doesn't care about black people. He had like kind of like some questionably liberal showings.
very
Then it's
interesting.
time. Exactly. That's what's so weird about it. It's like so it's like wow, it went from the guy who said George Bush doesn't care about black people to this motherfucker wearing a MAGA hat
And that's
in
what
the
sh-
Oval
And
Office.
that's what should
sitting-
tell you that he's just an overall caricature,
That's-
whatever you
Right.
call
That's
it.
what I'm- yeah.
He's just playing his script.
That's why
and
I
he's just
was-
doing what he's been.
So I
programmed to
personally,
do.
I personally like to appoint the academical, technical term to him. Kanye West, politically, is a grifter. He is the kind of
grifter?
person.
What is
yes.
that?
So a grifter is in a situation in which you have two different teams. A grifter is a person who joins one team for a little bit, stays there, does a few of the bare entry stuff,
he
makes
joined
it through
in
the club.
grift?
No,
grift.
In a grift. So he joins it into a grift, and the grift hasn't came yet. So when you join, you get through the basic hoops, and then you quit. You go to the other side, and then you go, I was on that side. And you know what? That side sucks because of this, and this issue, which is complete BS issues to anyone who's actually on that side.
Exactly.
It's like this.
you're a traitor.
But yeah, it's just so you want to go to that side to see what you can bring up in debate. So it's like if I go
Yes.
hang out with a bunch of white people or Mexican people or Asian
it's
people
all for
and
entertainment?
act like oh I don't really get along with black people
Wait.
and then go back to black people and be like man I was hanging out with them and I was trying to be multicultural.
So
but
it's
like,
low
this
key
is-
like a script, right?
It's low key like a script,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
why. So this,
Okay.
that's why I was
Okay.
literally
I thought so.
scared.
I thought so.
That's why I was scared at his rally of watching his demeanor and bringing up topics where I really felt like, bro, you really think this is how you're gonna convey this to the American people?
Nobody takes that man serious.
I don't take him
No,
seriously.
not his script, but I feel like really when he was
Think-
mentioning certain things, like how he was mentioning that he almost aborted North, which is a real topic.
Which was really
I think-
weird to me because I don't have kids or I've never been in that situation. But from what I understand, you don't do abortions through pills. It just don't work that way.
Yeah, not
Because he
I
was
think
like, the
Plan
pills
B-
are what's in her. That's not.
But
That's not an abortion.
You're way past. You're way past.
Technically,
like, yeah.
that's not an
When
abortion.
you're talking about an abortion, you're not talking about Plan B.
Yeah,
You're way past that
he's
point.
talking about the physician going in
And doing the
the
snips and
JJ.
flips.
I
and
feel like
then-
when we
yeah,
talk about
absolutely.
Kanye, we have to ask the question of what is his goals.
But I already
within
know
doing
he don't
this.
have no goals.
If y'all say that the presidential race is already gone, he can't.
No,
what he's doing is moot.
Absolutely,
It's like okay,
but that's a fact though.
then
It's
his
not what
goals
we're saying, it's a
are
fact.
probably just for us to talk about him.
I don't even think that.
We're achieving his goals right
No,
now
absolutely,
just by
we are.
speaking about him because he wants the publicity. He wants us to be like, what is he doing? Why is he doing
No,
it?
I think he's just too. I think he's
and
just
I think there's
personally-
mental
I
issues
think he's-
involved in it as well.
I think he's just specifically too dumb not to know that he can't do it because there are other people who have talked about doing it at other times.
You know what I
There are other people who have talked about trying to come in and join into the Democratic primary when it's super late and just like usurp an entire portion of the election and use the quarantine as an excuse and kind of like the political turmoil as an excuse. So I just don't. I think he and maybe he's not dumb. Maybe he just
I
sees the
was gonna say,
I feel
examples
like
of the
if
other
he actually
people,
was
and
going
he just
to
goes
run,
like,
I feel
maybe
like
I could.
it would have been different the way he would approach
feel like-
it. I feel like he's approaching it this way because He's
If he
just trying to get
approached
as
it
many
smartly.
eyes on him as possible right now because he has a project coming out.
Not even that. I feel like Kanye seriously just wants to be heard,
Yes.
but like all the time.
I don't think that.
No. I think he wants.
I think him doing this
But
is
based
going to
off of
turn the
what,
numbers
though?
But
up
no,
on his
that's what I'm
album.
saying. Think about
Everybody's
heard
going to listen to
off of
what he has
But
to
I
say.
think you gotta listen.
Like-
You gotta see his evolution
But he's
as
an
a
artist.
person.
Like you already
He's an
have
artist.
a platform
But-
to show when or what you want to be
But
heard.
look, but
Hold
look
on,
at this.
let's finish
But
this
look
point.
at Kanye as an artist. Kanye does not just want to be a music artist. He didn't even just want to be a producer in the beginning. He wants to be a fashion designer. He wants to be a writer.
And he's
he wants to be-
accomplished all those things.
He wants to be a film producer. So there's like multiple lanes. So he wants to be heard on multiple aspects. He wants his ideas to be explored and heard and at least validated.
Yeah, he sounds like a liberal to me.
So I don't think that he's necessarily going out
Because he
Yeah.
does have some.
He has some liberal
tendencies.
He does have some liberal
but I don't
ideology,
think,
but
I, that's
overall
what I'm
he
saying.
is conservative.
I don't think he's going out and just saying things because he really like kind of is more on a publicity thing. I feel like his mental is a little bit, I don't want to say above or below that, but it's away from that. Just kind of like doing publicity stunts. I don't feel like his mind is there. I feel like he literally wants people to hear what he has to say and validate what he has to say.
I feel like there's this psychological concept that if
Absolutely.
you look at what happens
Mhm.
and you infer that upon what the person was trying to have happen, then the outcome is actually what they wanted to happen. So if every time I knock a cup over and the water spills out, it's like at some point it's like that's my intention is for the water to spill out. So if him running for president and there's obvious that there's no way he could win president and he runs and then his album gets blown up off the publicity of just him running for president, that was his goal all along. His goal was just to get more people to listen to his music.
But I feel like Kanye,
Absolutely.
this is what I
It's
don't
not it's not about
It's called a Hegelian
if he has
dialectic.
if he has some type of strategy.
No, I don't
it's
think-
about what
yeah.
happened.
I don't
What
think-
happened?
I don't think
That
I don't
really
think
was
he has
fun.
any strategy. Like for me, I feel like Kanye really does want to run for president. I don't feel like this is a publicity stunt.
Why though? Why?
I feel because he's been talking about this for.
But why
cool.
though? Why?
Okay, so
Okay.
as far as like his personal belief, I think he really, in his mind, he's like Donald Trump. He really thinks he has ideas that can change the world. So in his head, he wants to at least express those ideas to the American people and see if they will say he's smart or not. So I feel like he really
He thinks he's Howard Hughes.
I
He
really
said
feel
it.
like this is
He
something
thinks
he
he's Howard
really
Hughes.
wants,
Yeah.
but he knows how to
Walt
go.
Disney.
I don't think he.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said
yeah, I don't think he knows how to go
He
about
did
it.
say
Hey,
Walt-
all top
Disney?
level Luciferians, I may add.
Yes.
All high level witches. But okay.
So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I think
Walt
Kanye,
Disney.
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney.
No, it's like,
Oh,
What's the
gosh.
other dude from Apple?
Steve
Steve
Jobs.
Jobs. Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Another one.
I like Gaga,
Hey,
but what she know
didn't
about
they sell their
Polaroids?
first computer for $666.66.
Yo,
Hey, it's
yeah.
okay.
and now
But
look
Hey,
at
it's
it.
okay
And,
though.
So I think
and
literally,
now look
I
at you
think
guys
in
dropping
his
8
head-
racks for a tower.
Yes.
I think literally in his head, he really does want to be president or at least run. And this is a serious thing of his. I don't think it's a publicity stunt. I just think, not to say he's not smart enough, but he just doesn't know how. Like the thing about Donald Trump, he had the money to go purchase the people that knows how to run for president.
Yes.
And he was like, yo, whatever I need to do, wherever I need to say, just tell me where to stand and let me speak what I want
But
to
see,
speak.
there's a problem in that industry as well, and that problem permeates politics. And I can get into a whole another thing about that, about the fact that those people who advise people on campaigns make so much damn money that they will not really tell you when you don't have a chance.
Exactly.
Or when you have, or
Exactly.
you have
And
a
you
hollow
get to
campaign.
You get to
They
keep the
will-
money from
yes,
your campaign that your
yes,
campaign
they will
raises.
run out that contract term and just be like, "Oh no,
You didn't-
tragic."
I really thought you was gonna win.
It's a
really-
double win.
exactly.
He
So
wins
yes.
from
That's
running and he wins from his music being
So
promoted.
my thing
he
is-
never wanted to be president.
But this, no, I think he did, but
don't
I just
think he
don't think.
does.
Who, but who's his? But who's his?
script?
I think it's- I don't think he
but
does.
Who's his campaign manager?
Because he knows he's not gonna win.
Yeah,
But
but
who's
what-
it?
It's like he's not gonna
This
win.
is my tip. I think he lit. When people talk about things and you be like, "Yo, you really believe you can sing, or you really believe you?"
But can we
That's
get
why I
to-
feel like that's him. He really believes
Can
that
we
he
get
can.
to the core of it?
Mhm.
To the point where it's just like, dude, everything you're doing is unofficial.
Yep. Everything he's doing is
that's
against-
what I'm saying.
at
If
that
he
point-
actually
at
was
that
going to
point-
run, he would have went about it
that-
a different
at
way.
that
But that's my
point,
thing. I don't
and
think he
again-
has anybody with him to tell him the
Again,
right way
that's
to go
what-
about
and
it.
that's
But
where
he
we
has
get back to-
money. His money gives him access to those people.
That's where we get back
if
to
he
this
really
point.
wanted to.
His point is that he's just doing it. Even I don't want to say for publicity. Because it's not. He don't need no publicity. It's like come on.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I
I
mean,
really-
You
but-
named after Coke.
But
Like,
I
come
feel
on,
like
bro.
with
But
with
look at-
today's news cycle, he kind of has to do things like this
It's not
to
about-
stay
it's
in
not
the
about
cycle.
Publicity. It's about.
I think that's really his mind.
It's about building up. It's about using his platform, what he already has, to be like, hey, I'm still here, and on
Yes.
top of still being here, I'm also dropping an album.
Yes, I'm
Because-
running for president out here.
because
Look
think,
at me.
Think about it from a psychological point of view. Everything he's doing is it's not accurate. It's done. It's over. It's not certified.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, you're doing all this, making it seem like you're going on a real campaign when in reality.
You can't
For
even
show. It's for show. It's all for show.
Exactly. That's the only point that a normal human being has to come back to is
That's
that
the
it's all for
conclusion.
show. It's the only absolutely. It's the only
Not
conclusion.
necessarily. Not
I feel- okay,
necessarily.
so
because so remember the whole thing we were talking about
Unless you
scale,
just admit
about-
that he's mentally ill.
Yes.
Yes,
Or,
yes, yes.
I feel like that's
Yes,
a part of it. I feel
absolutely,
like that's
yes.
a part of it.
Yes,
He is
that's a part
also
of it.
mentally
Exactly.
ill.
That's what I feel like.
That's why- and that's-
Look, I think it's both.
Yes, I agree.
Sure.
I
Yes.
think it's
of
both.
course-
What were you saying, Rob?
Of
What were you
course
saying?
it's both. Of course it's both. And that's what I was saying. Getting back into that whole thing about scale. So when you say there's a psychological reason, psychology is about the interworkings and the specifically the mental.
Why people do the things they
it's a-
do.
Yeah.
Right, well, no. Well,
From a neural
no,
aspect.
No, why people do the things that they do and motivation is economics. Psychology is just the intergoing on of their thought, even if they're not necessarily doing anything.
Just why
you
they
can
think
still have.
the way they
We can
think.
still have
It's the why of it.
a certain kind of like
Or the
yeah,
what?
I mean,
Is it why or what?
well,
Of the
and
brain,
only
really.
and only specifically of organisms. that-
Psychoanalysis and then
Exactly.
It's, it's a whole big
Yeah.
thing, but yeah.
But I guess this is my point. It's large, but it's not. It has specific bounds. So the psychology is his own personal thoughts. The politics is the psychology of everyone, of the groups. And so the only thing that I have to say about so yes, Kanye is doing stuff that's very unofficial, but that may work in a political realm in which people personally
I got you, Max.
are more upset about the culture of doing things the official way. And we have to remember that is a part of Donald Trump's political appeal. A part of his appeal is here are these other traditional politicians who do things in the traditional politician way.
drain the swamp.
Exactly. I'm going to drain the swamp. I'm going to be the guy who comes in and who isn't this by the books, by the rule person. I'm going to usurp your traditional norms and stuff like that. So now, since that worked for Trump, we're going to see other people who do it as well, who think, yeah, I can run a half-assed campaign because if I get the will of the people behind me, and if I can finesse the political group that I'm in, I have a viable campaign.
But I don't think that that's Kanye's goal.
I don't think he's thinking that deeply.
I don't think
I
that
don't
he's
think
I'll
he's
say
thinking
this.
that on that
I
level.
agree 100%.
I think he really wants to run for president. I just don't think he thought it through, like Donald Trump did in the beginning. I don't think Donald Trump really thought about. I don't think he really thought it through about
I
running
think
for
he's
president.
thinking it through.
I think Kanye.
I think it's all because the way our news cycle is sped up now, it's like you really got to do something drastic to stay in it week after week.
But that's what I'm saying.
And this is drastic enough to keep us talking about it for weeks.
But that's what I'm saying.
Every week he can do something crazy or something and come up and be like, "Oh, okay, Kanye now he's fucking drinking rotten milk."
I think he's serious about his running. I think it's a very serious
no
thing.
avail.
I don't think he normally thinks he'll win because he's never talked about when I become president in 2020. He's never said when I become president in 2020. But for
That's not his
years,
goal.
we've heard him say when I run for president in 2020, when I run for president, which led me to think
he
I was
said
like,
that.
okay, maybe he's gonna do what Andrew Yang did. knowing that he might not win,
Yeah.
he's gonna come in and present some policies and then present some ideas that are gonna cause people to think and change and be debated about. But then when I watch that,
He went straight
Again,
to
when I
talking
watched that
about
rally,
Hegelian dialectic.
abortion.
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
so when
that's exactly
and hearing
what
him
that
talk
is.
about abortion, I'm like, okay, bro, you're talking about abortion, which is a very serious topic to most of America, but you're talking about abortion from your point of view, from having a rich mom, rich dad. Both of them are rich. Not your dad's rich. Your mom. You have two rich people getting together talking about having a kid, and you're so unhappy still with all the money and all the stuff you have that you don't want to bring a child. You're not ready to bring a child. So you come to talk about that, and that's going to lead Kim to immediately be like, oh, no, bro, you're not about to sit here and admit publicly that I didn't want to have my child. And about to make me seem like a bad mom, so I'm about to.
He's
But
bipolar.
he
You're
did,
bipolar.
though.
So yeah, I'm about to. So he did it anyway. And then what scared me more than the actual press rally, as far as his mental health, was the tweets immediately after that. Because it's like, okay, we already know
What did he tweet right
a
after?
bunch of stuff. He talked about how Kim was trying to fly up to Wyoming and admit him. He talked about how Kim and Meek Mills apparently almost had an affair or had an affair.
Did
while
y'all see Dave Chappelle flew out to Wyoming to see him, and took pictures with him and shit?
and said he was okay?
I don't know. There's just a video of him with Dave Chappelle. Dave
Recently?
Chappelle's like just checking on him, and like they're taking pictures, they're smiling and laughing.
So I've seen a lot of people in the rap community talking about we're trying to catch up on Kanye. Somebody else tweeted like, y'all just talk to him. He's fine. He's not crazy. He doesn't need to be admitted. Other people are talking about, yo, we really need to check on Kanye. So, but like checking all the tweets that he put, you know, Kim's trying to have me admit it. This is happening. This is happening. You know, I'm just trying to speak my truth. Da da da. My album's dropping. His thought process is so sporadic and so, like, it seems like he has no tether to bring all this stuff together, except for trying to justify that he's not having a psychotic break. That's the only thing I could see. Kind of tying everything together.
Well,
he's trying to convince everybody, like, I'm not having a mental
I
breakdown.
feel like he's outsmarting everyone.
He's not having a
and
mental
he's using
breakdown.
This wave.
What he's doing is he's playing out the role that he's been programmed to do.
So he doesn't need to be.
Explain to us the Hegelian dialectic. I don't know if I said that right, but explain the.
Hegel was a philosopher, and basically what he had a mode of analysis of history in which he said he said when you look at history, you should realize that most events in history come about as an effect of two different of two things in a dichotomy that are working against each other, two opposing forces. So so like for example, the current men-women relationship in society is a product of patriarchy, and either matriarchy or feminism, pushing against each other, and we live in the middle ground of that thing. And so Hegel's is always saying, when you look at a society, you should look at there's multiple forces acting in that society, and some of them are counter to each other, and then that that more accurately explains the representations of the things that you're seeing. So just that aspect, you can also apply that to non-historical things, and just say, so if there's anything, if you're saying like, so your psychological motivation could be looked at as a dialectical way of saying like, oh, so you want to have enough water for you and your family, but you also don't want to be a tyrant and seize up control of the well, so everyone has to go through you. So now you have the two opposing forces,
Absolutely.
and you fit
There's
yourself
pressure
somewhere
from above.
in the middle of that.
It's pressure from above and there's pressure from below. And the pressure from above and the pressure from below, it forces a scenario to be installed. And when you create pressure from above and pressure from below, the people or whatever the constituency of whatever you're applying that pressure from above and from below is, they're going to force you or force the powers that be for a solution. And that is when you come in with whatever you already have packaged, planned, and tailored.
For example, if everybody can't go outside because they get sick from a virus that is airborne, they're going to wait for the government to come up with some type of solution of what they should do. Because some people want to go outside, and some people think that they should stay inside.
Absolutely.
So it's
pressure from above, pressure from below, and the citizens are begging and asking and not even begging, they're demanding
a solution. So that's how we
Hegelian
get
dialectic.
safer at home
Very
instead of stay your ass at home.
Very clever.
Or y'all can go outside and get what you get.
Very clever, and it works on 90% of people.
But remember the very specific intent, even if it is a nefarious intent of very few people, has to deal with the Hegelian dialectic.
Absolutely,
and
it's only a few people that are implementing the new. Absolutely, that's why they keep talking about this like new.
Well,
normal.
not exactly. Let me finish what I'm saying. So it is going against the fact that governments are not singular people. They are complex things that have complex history of many different people.
Absolutely, governments don't exist.
So in other words, like a conspiratorial line of a event happening also goes against the non-conspiratorial line of something happening, which is that a major event can happen from a non-significant motivation. There is something called a significance bias, when people see an event and they go, oh, that's a significant event, so it has to have a significant underlying cause of reasons. And I'm not saying it's 100% unsignificant, but all I'm saying is that
there is something in
there.
there.
There's a Hegelian dialectic even in the reasoning, and you attributing, like when you're saying, this is the exact reason why this happens. That may be it, and it may not be just that. It may be a bunch of other things.
Symbol.
Absolutely,
With
it's a
the
series.
black on one side and the light on.
It's a series of actions that are implemented or taken to get a calculated result.
Yeah, I feel okay. So to bring this Kanye to actually get what we're watching for this series of Kanye watches.
It's a calculated result that is
With-
supposed to come out of his revelry.
So you think for Kanye watch?
For Ye Watch.
Yeah, for
agree.
Ye Watch.
I agree with
for
what
Ye
he
Watch.
just
Okay,
said.
so for Ye Watch
That's my
2020, you
assessment
guys
as
are
well.
saying that there's gonna be some big climactic outcome for
It's
this.
not. It doesn't have to be
Like
big.
there's
Whether-
a goal. There's a
that's-
goal in mind
absolutely.
in his
so whether
actions.
so whether
is all
it's
I'm
an
saying.
album
That's what the
or
Hegelian-
it's just to take the eyes off of the masses.
Absolutely,
there is an agenda
There's
to the
something-
madness.
Absolutely, and he's playing his role how he was programmed to play it because he is an asset.
Rob, your Kanye watch. What's your prediction?
My personal prediction is that this will fizzle out because Kanye actually does not have
Speak too close to the mic.
any kind of. I don't think Kanye has a coordinated nefarious thing. I think that it's just
He's just living his life?
oftentimes. Yeah, I think the way that people live their lives can oftentimes look like co-opting forces to different movements. So I don't think that Kanye actually has like any deeper nefarious plot. He just looks that way because that's the way the climate is for him.
Well, I don't think what he has going on is nefarious either. I just believe that he's programmed.
You don't think that? no.
Okay.
Do you think?
fair.
Yeah, I was about to say, you don't think it's nefarious on somebody else's
Yeah, I
behalf?
feel like that's another
Yes.
another conversation.
I
that
believe
could
it
be
is
had.
nefarious on somebody else's
Yes.
behalf, but he's
Yes.
being puppeted,
Manipulated.
to do absolutely.
Okay,
then
so-
Absolutely.
I would agree with some of that.
And all right, my Kanye watch prediction is either he's gonna be admitted or he's gonna be divorced in a couple months.
Either way are terrible for the so-called black man. So
I think he's either.
I don't know if it's
Either one of those would be
I don't know if it's
detrimental
an
to his
either or.
mental
very
health.
I think okay. So I think
mental health will take a
no.
hit.
Here we go. I
Even
think
worse.
I think it.
will improve
I think him getting
That
admitted.
part, yeah.
I think him getting admitted, if he
But
gets
the
admitted
divorce.
seriously to an actual doctor, will be better.
Yes.
The divorce,
I think the
will
latter would
help.
do the same as well,
I
though.
think exactly. I think the divorce from a Kardashian, and he doesn't even need to get with anybody else. I think he needs to go back and be with Kanye for a second
But I think he,
and learn
I think
who
it's more
Kanye
Ka-
is.
I think Kanye
I
is
think-
more the problem.
I think both.
than
No, but
I
you
think
got,
both
I feel like Kim
alternatives.
is probably-
They all like
But look at
either
this.
he goes to the psych work or
I think he
gets
needs both.
divorced, or he'll go to the psych work.
Because of Kim put him there.
because you know.
So my thing is, I think him getting it,
So-
because I feel like Kanye was always out there, and we were accepting Kanye for who he was before
Let me
he
give my
got with
take
Kim.
and I'll end it.
Yeah, before
after
we
you get
yeah.
done.
So after he got with Kim, that's what Kanye got a little bit scary. Like Kanye always with the Beyonce should have won this. You know, I'm sorry to that whole thing. Kanye's always been out there, and we've kind of just Kanye's been always that one artist that be like, that's just Kanye. Oh, here Kanye go again.
Exactly, that's his programming.
But until he got with Kim, that's when he started doing stuff. We were like, I miss the old Kanye. I missed this Kanye.
I personally saw the crazy the whole time and was calling it crazy.
No, we knew it was crazy and eccentric.
No,
but
I
didn't
wouldn't call it.
I didn't.
wouldn't call it crazy.
I didn't start getting.
My opinion, I wouldn't
I'm
call
not
it
even gonna
crazy.
say I'm right. I'm not even gonna say I'm right. But
I feel like
was
it's all
calling it crazy
strategic.
for a long time.
I thought it
I feel
was.
like it's all strategic.
I thought it was eccentric. I was like, Kanye is an eccentric person that not everybody can handle, including myself. I was not the biggest Kanye fan.
I feel like Kanye is outsmarting a lot.
I knew
of
he
the
was
other
crazy from when he
artists.
did that album in 2008.
What was that one?
The album in
Not Heartbreaks in 808.
the one with Heartless.
That's Heartbreaks in 808. Yep.
That's
where you saw. That's when it started.
When that album came out, I knew there was an issue.
You know why I thought
something was wrong.
You know why I thought something was? Because that's when he got with Kid Cudi, and Kid Cudi was going through it at that time.
Absolutely,
So
he's another.
So I was like,
he's another nut job
Kid
as
Cudi.
well. Even though they both make great music, they both make great music.
Yo,
They do though.
Kid
They
Cudi
both
was
make
going
music.
through
But they're,
it
they're
at that
both
time.
nut job. They're both nut job.
Damn, I can't
They
go
are.
with that.
They
I
are.
personally think even Kanye at his best had different things. The ultra black man image of Kanye in his most conscious and even things like that had different cracks that will, as far as I was concerned, throughout time we're going to be exposed into larger fissures.
I feel like Kim
Kanye
made.
got in
Kanye
that
at
car
his
accident.
best
He has probably had
had
brain
signs.
damage. Okay, he's probably had.
But I think Kim has been no help for that.
What about all the time going to the psych ward? You don't think that caused any brain
No,
damage as well?
I feel like
That too.
Kim. I feel like
but I feel
Kim
like
is
also
an
I feel
enabler.
like, I feel like
Go ahead, you
this
your
is my
opinion.
this is my
And this is how we're gonna end Kanye
I feel
Watch.
like it may not be his intention, but I feel like his antics kind of they bring a lot of light to him and a lot of eyeballs on him, and that also helps sell his music and also helps propel his stardom. And that it's kind of like a snowball effect, and it's just going and going and going, and it's going even more. And he's probably just going along with it now. He gets to do whatever he wants, act crazy, people filming it, and all it does is just make his tickets sell more, sell at higher prices. He gets to sell different shoes with different companies and different designer clothes and stuff.
So you think he's gonna snap out of this?
No, I don't think he's gonna snap out of it. I think it's gonna go to a conclusion of either he ODs on some drugs
Ooh,
or
hope
something,
not.
or he goes and gets help and actually helps
That's why I think
himself,
he needs
or
in-house to
Hopefully.
remove
you know,
himself
everyone
from all
turns
that.
their back on him, or there's black artists who come around
Yeah, I
him and
don't
try to
think-
help him like they're doing right
Like
now.
Dave Chappelle, I
They're
don't think
already
they're-
doing that.
Yeah.
He'll go as long as he's worth more alive than dead. The moment he's worth more dead than alive, they'll remove him.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the On the Table podcast. And please subscribe. This is part 1 of Kanye Watch. We're gonna talk about some more topics on part 2 if you guys want to tune into that. But for now, we're gonna end this one here. Please like it. Please subscribe. Please comment. If you disagree with any of our point of views, I don't care. Comment. I'll read them. They won't hurt my feelings.
Wait,
but
Rob,
you won't hurt
what's
my
your man's
feelings
name
'cause
one
I
more
like to
time?
read that type
Rest
of
in
stuff.
peace, who?
Rest in peace, Michael Brooks.
Rest in peace, Michael
Rest
Brooks.
in peace, Michael Brooks.
Pray for Kanye.
And pray for the mental health of black men in America right now.
Mm-hmm.